Hello everyone, my name is Gildart, and this has been one of the most difficult videos I have ever tried to make. And it's not because I've got bad news or anything. I'm not going away. I'm just gonna put that out there. It's because of the internal conflict that I've been having for the last little bit around my content. And to kind of give you a bit of perspective around this, I'm going to get into that. I'm also going to get into what's going on with the channel, my content, where I'm taking the channel, and so on, along with a bunch of other stuff. I'm going to try to make the timeline, put everything in there. This is completely unscripted, so I might go off on tangents. So if you want to jump to any specific point, hover over the timeline and you can be taken to the specific part that you're most interested in. But if you're interested in just understanding me, my content, and everything, feel free to watch it all. I do have some notes over on my monitor over here to keep me kind of on track because of those tangents, but also, if I don't write it down, I'm not going to mention it, so there is that. But essentially, to give you guys some perspective on what that internal conflict has been like, there's kind of multiple sides of me working on these videos. There's the creative side of me that really wants to, dive deep into every part of the process, really work on the script and try to think about what I want to say, how I want to say it, like the tone, the specific words, skits, make sure I write down how I want the scene to look and all of this other stuff. Then there's the entertainer part of me that doesn't care so much about having a high quality production value and just cares about having fun. And those two sides of me clash constantly with how I make my content, and it's kind of culminated into this little bit of a break that I've had by accident. This was not intentional. I had actually intended on having at least 2 other videos out by this point, but I've been kind of battling how I want to drive my content, where I want to take it, and what I want to do with it. So that's what a lot of this change is going to be helping me with, and where it's coming from. It's definitely a bit of burnout in a sense, because I've been kind of pushing the same sort of content for what feels like too long, and I'm definitely not having as much fun as I used to. Still having fun, don't get me wrong, I love making these larger than life videos, at least for the type of content that you would expect from a channel with less than 10,000 subscribers. But the thing is, I have loads of ideas that just do not fit into the type of content that I've been producing. And because of that, it's made me lose the motivation to work on those ideas. So that accidental break from YouTube and uploading for nearly 2 months, it's also been a bit of a social media break as well. Now, I haven't been fully hands-off, and many of the people in the Discord will kind of say the same thing. I have been relatively active in the Discord, but I have been silent for a few days here and there kind of thing. And I'm at that point now where I really want to jump back in and really be active with the community. Now, I still want to work on those bigger videos, the ones that really I take pride in. The stuff like the Wii U video, all of the Dynasty Warriors reviews, all of that stuff. I'm still going to be working on videos like that. It's just that they take so much time, and when that is my sole focus, it gives me little to no interaction with you guys. And that's one of the reasons why I continue to make content, because as someone who really likes to entertain, if I'm not entertaining somebody consistently, I am not feeling as fulfilled. So working on those larger projects, they really work towards that creative side of me, but then my entertaining part of me just has to wait on the sidelines until it's his turn to kind of perform. So what does my content look like going forward? I'm going to be trying to work into 5 different types of content. The bigger videos that you're all used to from me, smaller videos, which I did dabble in when I did the GameCube controller review, the shorts and TikToks, which most of you might also be familiar with, live streams, and something that's relatively new but I have dabbled in here and there, voice acting. Now, you may have noticed that I didn't include the Guild intro in this video, and it's not because it's just an update video. That's going to be a thing going forward, and it's partly because of the way that YouTube, the algorithm, and the internet as a whole kind of works nowadays, is that the way that the algorithm kind of positions you is also based on when people drop off. And a lot of people do tend to seem to drop off, especially if they're not used to your intro, if it's too long. Now, I might try the shorter intro, but for now, I'm going to try just no intro. I'm going to mention the Guild and what they do for this channel in place of sponsorships. I'm going to be maybe looking at sponsorships to help fund some of the things that I want to do for these larger videos as well. So the Guild will get their moments to be thanked as well. Now, as far as the types of content that I have planned, shorts are really going to be continuing as they have been for the last little bit. I'm not going to try to schedule anything around uploads. Schedules are mostly going to be around live streams. The shorts will mostly be like skits, jokes, clips from live streams or videos, and they'll be uploaded to TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram where possible. Now, the shorts aren't really going to be changing too much from what they are today, but where the big changes are going to start is with these small-scale videos. These are mostly going to be around 5 to 10, maybe 15 minutes in length. They're not really going to have a whole lot of me in front of the camera talking to you like this, like I have in a lot of my larger scale videos. If you want to see kind of an example of what those smaller scale videos are going to look like, you can check out the GameCube style controller review that I did almost 2 months ago. Most of the jokes are really going to be worked into the script from a voiceover perspective, and I'm going to try to use visuals instead of me on screen kind of reacting to something in the script. Now, some shows are going to be worked into this smaller scale style, things like Expanded, Import Report, Daily Grind, and some random discussion topics like the GameCube style controller review. I think these shows really fit into that smaller scale. You know, usually when I'm reviewing an import, I don't have a whole lot to say because of the whole language barrier. Usually when you're talking about DLC or an expansion, there's not as much content involved as a full game. And of course with Daily Grind, since they are more guides and tips and that sort of thing, they don't really need to be as elaborate as a full review. But even though they are going to be on a smaller scale, it doesn't mean that the jokes, the energy, or any of that is going to be lower. I want to make sure that everything that I do meets the high quality that I hold myself to. Now, just because I say these smaller scale videos won't have me on camera doesn't mean they will not ever have me on camera. They may, I might work in some jokes or some skits into these smaller scale videos. It's just that there's gonna be no expectation for me to be on camera for those videos. That way I can hopefully lower the time of production, lower the effort of production, and try to be a little bit more efficient with these smaller scale videos. Now, obviously, the bigger style videos are going to get even bigger, with probably, I'm going to imagine, a minimum of 20 to 30 minutes, and then it could be as long as like an hour, hour and a half. I don't know. I'm not going to put a limit on it. I'm just going to allow it to happen as it happens. This is going to be stuff like the full reviews, comparison, Gildart gallery, any other shows or discussion videos that I feel need to be that like massive length. This is where I'm going to be on camera a lot more often. I'm going to try to work in a lot more skits, not just me making a joke on camera, I am going to try to include maybe other characters, maybe I'll develop some other characters, actually work in full sketch comedy style skits, and just try to expand those videos to be bigger than they ever have. Now, probably the biggest change out of all of the things that I'm going to be doing on the channel is that I'm going to be shelving the pros versus cons and PVC Mini brands for now. The main reason why is because those are extremely structured shows, and I have struggled on so many occasions to figure out how I want to relay the information and my opinions. Like, obviously, if I have something positive to say about something, it goes in the pros. But what if that positive thing has a flaw to it? Do I mention it in that pro? Do I mention it as a con? This has been one of the things that I have been struggling with. So, like, if I didn't have that structure or that limitation, then I would mention that stuff naturally. I might mention the graphics first and then talk about the gameplay, and I'll mention the pros and cons of everything in those sections. So I'm gonna be kind of rebranding those videos. So obviously the pros versus cons reviews are going to be rebranded to Gildart reviews, while the PVC Mini will be rebranded as just first impressions, just nice and simple. They're still going to use the same background color for the thumbnail as pros versus cons and PVC Mini. That way, you know, those of you that know what those colors mean, you'll know what sort of video to expect. On top of that, the first impressions will be that smaller scale video where I'm not on camera as often, and I'll figure out what to do with comparison, where I can still compare 2 or more video games, consoles, whatever, and still not have a structure to it. Now, I do have a few new shows that I'm working on and trying to see what I want to do with them. The first one being the Collection Chronicles. This one is going to be one of those smaller scale videos, and it's going to cover topics in the collection. It could be the Warriors collection, it could be like one specific console, like the Wii U. That might have been one of the Collection Chronicles that I did. I do have at least 2 or 3 scripts started for this show, and I don't know if any of them are going to get scrapped or anything, but one of the scripts that I'm kind of trying to focus on and get done is Muso characters in non-Muso games, and that's not necessarily like guest stars in other games. That's going to be custom characters in other games, and me just trying to play around with the character creator and making Muso characters and seeing how close I can get to like the outfit, the weapons, and maybe even like the voice actors, like going that deep. Maybe, I don't know. Again, the smaller scale videos are supposed to be lower effort, lower time, so I don't want to do too much, research, but we'll see where that goes. The other show, I don't have a name for it yet, or a logo. It's just going to be about my own adventures in gaming. Now, that's going to mean, like, I'm going to play a game, and I'm going to kind of retell it. I'm not going to review it necessarily. I'm still going to talk about some of the gameplay mechanics, the frustrating parts, the really cool parts, the good parts of the story, the good parts of the graphics, and all that stuff, but the main purpose of it is to retell my adventures in the game. Now, this could be as simple as just me playing through an Empire's title from start to finish and retelling the story, adding in some extra stuff for flair, or it could be me playing through a adventure game, a JRPG, an open world game, and trying to add that extra flair to the story that you get from the game. I only have one script started with this because I don't know if it's going to be episodic, kind of like a Let's Play, but in a more scripted format, or if it's going to be like a play from start to finish kind of thing. This is also going to be one of the larger scale videos, so I'm going to be on camera a lot more often. There's going to be a lot more sketch comedy style skits, and it's going to be that like 20, 30, maybe 60-minute video. Again, I don't know exactly where I'm going to take this unnamed show, but I'm really excited because I have a lot of ideas. I have a lot of games that I could play and do either as episodic or as one-off videos. I don't know where I'm going to take it necessarily, but I'm going to play around with it here and there, and eventually it may come out. But one thing that is available, and I have been doing episodes on it, is the Gildcast. Now, if you haven't heard of the Gildcast, and you're wondering where it is because, like, you haven't seen it, there's a reason for that. It is a live stream and podcast wrapped into one that is exclusive to members of the Guild. Now, the Gildcast was the replacement for the voice chat that I did with Guild Generals, who are the top tier for the Guild. Now, depending on the tier that you support at, you can interact with the Gildcast in different ways. Guild members can watch the upload to YouTube after the fact. Guild officers, which would be the next tier, can watch the live recording when it happens every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Atlantic. Guild strategists can join the text chat, and Guild generals can join the voice chat, the text chat, or just watch. No matter what access you have, you don't have to take advantage of that level of access if you only want, like, to watch the live recording or to watch the replay. So we are on episode 5 so far. This is also where I'm going to be covering news, and the main reason why is because, like, obviously when I script my videos and that sort of stuff, it is very hard to make sure I am always covering the most up-to-date news, especially with something like Dynasty Warriors Origins, where it feels like every day something, even if it's small, something new has come out. Now, that doesn't mean I'm not going to be doing a video on Dynasty Warriors Origins before it comes out. I'm probably going to script a video after I finish filming this, starting to, shape my thoughts around what we know so far and how I feel the game is kind of, positioned for launch. And maybe I'll have that out sometime in December. I don't know. It really just depends on what my schedule is looking like. But I'm going to try to have that out before January. But if you want real-time news, my opinion on things, or want to see me discuss current topics in the community, the Gildcast is going to be that way, and you can gain access for as low as $1 a month. With that being said, there are also now 2 ways to join the Guild. It's not just through Patreon. You may have noticed a join button here on YouTube. That's because YouTube memberships are now a thing here. The tiers and rewards are the exact same. Most of the rewards are distributed through Discord, so if you have a Discord, just make sure that you join the Discord server. There is a link in the description below, but if you join through YouTube or through Patreon, you should get instant access to the Guild Discord chats. If you don't, just message me. I'm going to try to maintain a list of some sort to make sure that everybody is given the correct tiers, rewards, and everything. But if you can't support the channel financially, I know it's not the greatest time to be in the economy. The Gildcast will have some moments provided to the public. I am probably going to post at least one episode publicly at some point. I'm still working through some of the kinks because I'm new to this whole podcasting thing. Plus, it's like a podcast / live stream. So, I just want to make sure that the episode that I put out to the public is a refined episode that doesn't have any mishaps or after I've ironed out a lot of the details. But right now, we have been kind of covering a little bit of Dynasty Warriors Origins news at the beginning, maybe talking about video production and that sort of stuff. And probably the biggest thing has been that I'm playing through Dynasty Warriors 7, playing through the story on hard mode with randomized weapons. I'm not allowed to use EX, and it has to be the weakest weapon that comes up. Yep, it's gonna be fun. So far, I haven't finished the Way story just yet. We're getting close to the end. I'm gonna play through all of the stories and maybe Legend Mode. I haven't decided that just yet. And maybe that'll be a decision for the guild to make. But the big thing is, this challenge has a purpose, and that's because it's going to be one of the episodes of that unnamed show where I retell my story playing through this game, trying to overcome this challenge. I'm going to be including clips from the Gildcast with the voice chat and us just going crazy over, you know, me almost dying or actually dying. And some of the hilarious weapon matches that have been happening. Oh, no, no. I heard a Muso. I heard a Muso. I heard a Muso. Oh! 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 Why are you all so close to death? Yet none of you are close enough. Now, on top of the Gildcast, every week for about 15 to 30 minutes after the recording of the Gildcast, there is a non-recorded discussion that I'm planning to have as well. And that is also an opportunity for people who don't feel comfortable, you know, being recorded for something that's going out to a relative public, to be able to join and talk with me and with others of the community as well, and to kind of talk about me getting my ass handed to me during the challenge. So that is one aspect that can only be experienced on the Wednesdays when we go live. One of the things that I have been so disappointed about when I decided to drop the live streams has been the lack of conversation that I've been able to have with you. So I'm bringing live streams back. Now I'm going to bring them back relatively slowly. I'm only going to start with just Mondays once a week at 8 p.m. Atlantic, similar to the time of the Gildcast. Now, I might add extra days in as the months go on, but I do want to slowly ease myself back in. One of the main reasons why I didn't want to jump directly into live streaming again is because, like, I've been using key bindings for scene changes and that sort of stuff, and, you know, those key binds can sometimes make a mess when I go to record something that requires those keys. So I'm going to invest in a stream deck, which will hopefully help me with that, but I'm not going to be able to do that right away. I'm still going to start on Monday for the first Monday of November. I don't know what it is. I didn't look it up. Editor Chris, can you just put the date, like, somewhere on screen for me? Thanks, bud. I will make a community post sometime after this video goes up just to ask for what you guys want to see me stream. I'm going to try to keep it Muso specifically for this stream on Monday. So just suggest something Muso related. I'm going to try to, like, play through a story or try to pop a trophy or an achievement or something like that, unlock weapons, whatever. And so just comment what you think I should stream, and I'm gonna make a poll maybe a week before the first live stream, and that's going to be what I stream until I finish that story, pop that achievement, unlock that weapon, whatever, and then another poll is gonna come out. Now, on top of all of this, I do actually want to get into doing charity events as well. I really enjoyed what we did with Movember. We were able to raise, I think, over $500 for men's health, both physical and mental health, which obviously, of course, I would be very connected to something like that. But I also want to know, like, what sort of charities do you want to see supported? Is there anything that you feel fits that Muso community kind of thing, but also fits the channel and my values as well? I'm really open to suggestions and discussion around that and what I could do for a charity event. Would you like to see one during Muso May in next year? And then there's the voice acting side of things. I'm trying to dabble a little bit into voice acting and really hone my craft with that, so you may see some videos including a bit more voice acting happening. Maybe I take a clip and I voice it over for a joke, or maybe I voice a scene from a video game that doesn't have voice acting or doesn't have an English dub, and I post that as a short. I don't know what it's going to look like, but I do know that I have been cast in a few roles for the upcoming Christmas special for Heroes of Chaos. For those of you that didn't know, I voiced Cao Pi and Zheng He in the Musoverse The Breakup, which you can check out in the iCard as well. Heroes of Chaos brought me on for that, and we've been able to become friends with the whole team, and they're really awesome, and I'm really thankful for this opportunity to voice 3 different characters for the Christmas specials. I'll be voicing Sima Yi, Sun Jian, and Yukimura Sanada. So keep an eye out for that, and you might see some clips and stuff coming out just to, build some hype around those videos. But I'm really excited to see, what comes from those projects, because I have been having a lot of fun. We've been doing rehearsals every Tuesday and Thursday, and yeah, it's just been so much fun. I'm really looking forward to taking this even further and working more with Heroes of Chaos and doing more voice acting and just getting better. And if you'd like to stay up to date with everything that I have been up to, you can also join the Discord server. There is a link in the description below. It has evolved a lot since I last kind of promoted it. There's forums now, there's stages for people to stream to, and it's just become a big avenue for discussion with the community, and I try to be really active in there, talk about what's going on with my life and all of that stuff. So I highly recommend joining that if you want to meet and talk to people within the community. And with that being said, that is all of my updates, but this video isn't done because we have questions from you that I will answer. I posted on my community tab with a Q&A request, and you guys delivered. So let's start with the first question. So starting things off, we have 2 questions from I Hate Strike Freedom 5. The first being, when's the next stream coming back? And, oh, will the podcast ever be listenable to us non-guild members, even if it's a while later? And I did answer that through this video. Streams are coming back on Monday, the first Monday of November. There's going to be community posts to help gather ideas from you guys, as well as a post right before the next actual live stream for you guys to decide what I'm doing. As far as the Gildcast, like I said, I just want to try to work through the kinks, like the early kinks of the podcast before I share anything publicly. I am planning to at least do 1 episode public, just to show off what the Gildcast is. And, like I said, I'm going to try to work in moments from the Gildcast into videos where it feels appropriate. The next question is from Rico Collier Daniels 1184. Will you be doing Muso May next year since Dynasty Warriors Origins has been announced? Yes, I'm going to be doing Muso May in 2025. The idea is that the theme for Muso May going forward is just going to be whatever video I'm working on at that time. Right now, my plan is to revisit the Dynasty Warriors, Samurai Warriors, and Warriors Orochi videos, because I feel like I've grown a lot since I did those videos back then, and I just want to dive into those, do like the big full review, do separate videos on the expansions for, like, do expanded episodes for the Extreme Legends expansions, do full reviews of all the Empires and handheld spin-offs, and try to work in some daily grinds for how to unlock different characters, weapons, what have you. So essentially, what my plan is that, the first video obviously is going to be Dynasty Warriors 1, and maybe I do some daily grinds or something until I put out Dynasty Warriors 2, and then while I'm working on Dynasty Warriors 3, do a couple of other things, and, you know, do the smaller scale videos between the larger scale videos. But whatever I happen to be working on at the time of that year's Musou, that's what the theme is going to be. The next question is from Sir Isaac Fortescue. Are there any future episodes of the Daily Grind or Import Report that you'll be willing to talk about right now? I asked this because I really liked the 2 episodes we got of those, and I'd love to see more. I have lots of imports that I could easily make import reports on, especially now that I'm kind of condensing it into a smaller scale video with the same sort of level of energy and the same amount of jokes. It's just maybe less skits and less me live on camera. But I have lots of imports to do for Import Report, and of course expanded. There's so much DLC for Warriors games, but also non-Warriors games. So I hope to make lots in all of the shows, especially now that I've decided kind of where they fit in the grand scheme of things. Next up, we have Legoshi6769. Nice. Will you do Dynasty Warriors Origins weapon unlock and character grinding tips on that stage like months after release? The plan is to do as much content as I can around Dynasty Warriors Origins. That includes the first impressions that's going to come out sometime likely after launch, daily grinds, expandeds if they put out DLC. If I get some of the pre-order DLCs, then obviously I'm going to be doing expandeds on that. Of course, there's going to be daily grinds on any sort of unlockables or any sort of grinding tips that I can find. And of course, if I can't find any grinding tips, I'm going to be, you know, exploring some of the ones that are out there that people from the community are saying work for them, and trying out different things. And once I figure out, you know, what's the best way, at least in my opinion, that's what I'm going to work into the script for the daily grind. So yes, to answer your question, yes, there are definitely going to be daily grinds on Dynasty Warriors Origins. I don't know how soon after release, because it's really going to depend on how quickly I can get to that point in the game to actually be able to grind away and figure out grinding tips and that sort of stuff. But maybe I'll be able to do like a daily grind to be like, this is what you should do when you're starting off. I don't know. We'll see. And lastly, we have a 3-part question from Maduity. I feel like I'm just saying it the same way over and over again. 1. Any potential collaboration with other Musou YouTubers? 2. Final thoughts on Dynasty Warriors Origins before release? 3. You said you're planning to do a revisit type of videos, like revisiting Dynasty Warriors 9 and Samurai Warriors 5 after all updates and DLC. When will we see it? Very excited for them. We missed your content. Well, thank you so much. I hope that I didn't butcher your username too much. But to answer your first question, yes, I am very open to a lot of collaborations, especially now that I'm trying to expand the way that I do content here. One of the biggest things that's been holding me back from collaborating with a lot of other content creators has been just how big I've been trying to make every single video on this channel. So hopefully, you know, focusing to understand what videos should be big, what videos should be smaller, and doing live streams and all this stuff. Hopefully that keeps me content enough to be able to expand myself, to be open for more collaborations. I have a couple of collaborations kind of starting in the plans and in the works, so keep an eye out. I'm definitely going to be sharing those when they are available, whether they be here on the channel or on other channels. If they are on other channels, I'll be posting them in the community tab on my channel. So yes, there will be more collaborations with other content creators, both in the Musou sphere and outside. For your second question, I'm going to save my final thoughts on Dynasty Warriors Origins for a separate video. Like I said, I do want to kind of take everything that's kind of come out since its initial announcement and really give kind of a broken down relay of my overall thoughts. Again, I'm not going to be covering every minute detail. That's something that I'm going to be covering at the beginning of Gildcast when I talk about some of the news and topics that are current in the community. But I do plan to do at least one video talking about, like, my overall thoughts before launch. As far as revisiting Dynasty Warriors 9, Samurai Warriors 5, and all the DLC, that's probably going to be a topic for much later in the future, because I am starting from Dynasty Warriors 1 and working my way up in chronological order. So I'm trying to have that kind of flow to the way that those sort of videos are coming out. Now, if everybody says that they want those sort of videos out sooner, I don't mind breaking the chronology for all of you. I also do appreciate the fact that you mentioned that I've been missed. I know that I haven't posted content, especially on this channel, for almost 2 months. I'm hoping that is not the case moving forward. I'm just going to be a little bit more free with my content. So you may see some non-Muso stuff, you may see some Muso stuff. It's just going to be whatever I feel like working on at that time. Just going to dive straight into whatever I have the motivation to work on in the moment, so that what you get is just a project that has been filled with passion from start to finish. So anyways, that's all the questions that I got on my Q&A post. I did also create a Blue Sky account. That's been kind of where I've been most active outside of Discord, and there is a AMA post there that's pinned on my profile. So if you want to ask me anything at all, you can ask me in the comments on Discord, or follow me on Blue Sky and ask me there. I tend to be a fairly open book, even if, like, there's parts of my personal life that I want to keep private for obvious reasons. But with all that being said, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you're all excited with the content that's coming in the future. Let me know what you're excited about, what you want to see on the channel. Give this video a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and yeah, I'm not used to doing outros without a script. I feel so lost. If you'd like to help support the channel and what I do here, you can join the guild just like these awesome people that you're seeing on screen right now. You can join them at the end of every single video for just $1 a month over on Patreon or YouTube memberships, or you could donate in a one-time fashion and join the volunteer unit over on Coffee. A special shout out to my guild generals Beggy Beg Beg and Loose for supporting this channel at the top tier. There are other awards and other tiers as well, so check out the links that you see on screen, and I will see you all down in the comments.